Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Exile CTF gameplay. The score in the background is a 56-7, but the scoreline itself isn't particularly important, especially as I haven't actually posted the entirety of the gameplay. You know, with a 56-7, for me that's just one too many deaths compared to the amount of kills that I got, so I wouldn't usually choose to post it. It's a little bit slow and I don't really like watching loads of death screens, but this gameplay itself had a lot of entertaining moments, a lot of fast-paced action going on, and it was one of my action movie type gameplays where I just got into their spawn and started being absolutely ridiculous and pushing far too many situations that I shouldn't have. And off-screen, that leads to a lot of deaths, but what I've decided to do is, you know, clip together the best parts of the gameplay so that it's always entertaining to watch. And I get an overkill at one point to stop a flag carrier, nonetheless, which is pretty darn cool. It's actually a pretty mediocre overkill overall, but I'm not someone who gets montage clips on a regular basis, and that just excites me, to be honest, when I get one. So there we go. I had a topic I kind of wanted to go over today, and that's how I managed to play aggressively, successfully. You know, it's something that is always on my mind, and I'm always trying to look for ways to improve my aggressive gameplay and get away with situations more readily. And I think since the beginning of Halo 4, I've actually improved quite a lot, not to toot my own horn, but, you know, in the Reach days, I didn't actually play very much at all, especially towards the final year. The final year, I probably played about 2 games during that cycle, because I was just sick of Reach. It just wasn't the game I wanted to play. I was very disappointed with it, especially, like, DMR Bloom was just unforgivable. And by the time they fixed all the DMR problems, it was just too little too late for me. I was just too angered by the beginning of the game, and it kind of left me with a lot of sour memories. But Halo 4 itself, I've practiced quite a lot, and I think I've found the perfect loadout, which consists of regeneration, AA efficiency, and ammo. AA efficiency basically lets your regeneration recharge twice as fast, which is extremely useful. You wouldn't believe how many uses I've gotten out of that. And if you watch the little regeneration slider in the bottom left corner whilst it's going, it goes up very quickly, surprisingly so. And staying alive is kind of a big priority for me, but at the same time I want to stay alive and also retain my aggressive nature, and regeneration allows you to do that. You know, in Halo 4, it's the sort of game, because it's got more shield recharge time, which really frustrates me. I think they should put it back to what it was in Halo 3. But the extra shield regeneration time kind of encourages players to play a little bit more defensively. I'm sure you've had these moments in Halo 4 where you've just had to sit around a corner for a long time, and maybe they even get one little shot on you, and then you have to wait even longer for it to recharge, and it becomes uber frustrating to me. Like I've said in previous gameplays, I'm not a patient guy at all. Not a patient guy, and regeneration gives me that boost to just be like, yeah, now I can run into their spawn and do ridiculous stuff. And I think in some ways people consider that overpowered. I kind of do, kind of don't. I think it could be scaled down a tiny bit, but I think it's fine where it is for the most part. And then ammo is the other you know, additional perk or whatever you want to call it, and that essentially allows you to get extra clips on your power weapons, which I just think is monstrously ridiculous. You know, there was a time in my gameplay where I was trying to go for gameplays all the time, and I was like, oh, should I use ammo? Because I could get extra ammo on my DMR. That would actually be quite useful, and that alone was pretty useful for me. That was something I considered myself using. And then someone told me, oh yeah, you do know that gives you extra ammo on your power weapons as well, and I was just like, that's freaking ridiculous. Of course I'm using that. Why haven't I been using that already? Just because I like to hog power weapons, and on a gameplay that's useful. Having a power weapon is a massive step up above the competition, especially if you're playing worse skilled players. That's something that will just, you know, 50% of the time will keep you more alive, unless you're using a sniper and being done with it like I do on a regular basis, but there we go. I've talked quite a lot and quite quickly in the last couple of minutes, so I hope that wasn't too much to take in, but there we go. You know, playing aggressively is a skill you kind of have to learn. You kind of have to read the room of what's going on, of what you're able to get away with. It's like you just kind of need to look at the players, and sometimes I just find I can almost sense it from their stance. I think some players almost have this battle stance that just makes them look less able, like they're not making the most out of every single movement and every single play that they make, and I know I can exploit that. I know I can exploit their close range, you know, close range difficulties, because some players just can't handle close range. They can't handle you going out into their face, and they want to kind of take a few steps back and turn it into a mid-range combat. But what you really want to do is get as close range as possible and get in their face and you know, create situations that are just over the top chaotic for them, so they can't really follow what's going on to the best of their abilities. It's just something that I constantly try to do. I constantly try to make them feel uncomfortable in their spawn. And as an aggressive player, when you're getting into situations which are troublesome, where you're, you know, almost dying, getting yourself into trouble, you're a one-shot, for example, something that I can't stress enough is that you want to make every single move count. The second you give up or, like, think, oh, I'm dead, you've just made a massive mistake. Never think that. Ever, 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 ever. Think, oh, I could have a chance. Maybe if I got just around this corner and got into another area of the spawn, I could cause utter chaos. And those moments where you are predicted to fail by the enemy team, where they think, oh, that guy's dead, you know, someone just finish him off. I'm sure you've had it where, like, all your team had surrounded some guy and you're trying to finish him off, and then you assumed, and then you just turn around maybe and think, oh, that teammate's going to finish him off, we're fine. What if that player survives and then just causes utter chaos by coming behind all the players who have turned around and assassinating as many players as quickly as they can? Those are the moments when you are underestimated, where you can create the most chaos and get the most kills in as quick a time, because you're being underestimated. Players aren't focusing on you, they're not using their marksmanship, they're not concentrating as much as they need to be, and you can just exploit their oversights. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. I hope that made sense for you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace out.